on Saturdays about sports. The Sinner and the Saint will be that show. Better than they were before. Sportsier, funnier, more labradoodles. The Sinner and the Saint Tailgate Show on 1080 The Fan, the
Odyssey
app, and 1080thefan.com.
Hey! Happy Saturday morning, all you beautiful radio listeners. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your weekend. Let's check in with the most important man. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Will Darkins. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, I'm just so pumped up from that fight night.
I'll tell you. Boxing just lets you down and lets you down, and you think that there's no way that they could possibly get any worse. Then they go and do something like that and totally redeem themselves. How good was last night on Netflix? Jake Paul against Mike Tyson. Oh, boy, did that deliver. What an exceptional evening of broadcast. Here's what I know. Boxing is back. Netflix is now the premier sports entertainment delivery system. Just put it right into my veins. Can we get some more of Roy Jones Jr. out there and just muttering through a fight and whoever the wrestling guy was? And then we've got Rosie Perez for some reason.
Okay, that's where I
down
wanna
by
stop.
the ring. Was that not? I want a football game with a concussed old player, a marginal celebrity who was pretty good in a few movies 15, 20 years ago. And that's how I want my broadcast from now on. I want two women beating the living hell out of each other as a primer to everything that I do. I am all in. Let's go. Come on. When's the next fight? Is George Foreman still alive? Jake Paul, George Foreman. Let's go.
I think he might be dead.
What do you know for sure?
I don't.
And would it be different watching Jake Paul fight the corpse of George Foreman? Would that be a different fight?
Okay, so this was my major question from last night.
Is George Foreman still alive?
Why is Rosie Perez there?
What do you mean? Why is Cedric the Entertainer there? Boy, he was
Well,
terrible,
I
too.
understood that one to a point of like, hey,
George Foreman, 75 years old.
okay,
Looks like
still
he's
alive,
Yeah.
barely.
Whoa.
But like,
Looks good.
okay, Cedric the Entertainer, I get, right? Because it's like pre-fight, and it's like, okay,
But he was not being entertaining.
let's talk,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, or let's just talk to a comedian who's probably hanging around boxing matches.
Yeah.
The problem is that Rosie was part of the crew. She was the
Yeah.
mainstay. She was in the box, commentating.
I put in why was R, and it said why was Rosie Perez at the fight?
Yes, and I found out that apparently she just boxes and trains regularly, though she doesn't box competitively.
Yeah.
Dubbed the first lady of boxing.
Yeah, I'm reading
Why?
it right now. What do you mean? She loves boxing.
But she doesn't. She's not competitive.
She was great in The Flight Attendant.
She thought good and everything.
What is that? Your Rosie Perez? Don't do that again.
She's pretty good.
She was in the. Did you watch The Flight Attendant?
No,
You should watch that.
she was white men can't jump, right?
Yes, she was. She was.
Yeah, that's why I
fantastic in that.
did that accent.
No, I know. Well, that's
remember
her-
that?
Yes, I do.
Why are you stupid?
Yeah. She's also in.
I do a really good Rosie Perez.
No, you don't, and
Oh.
you should probably stop.
Why?
What was the other one?
Is
Do
it
the right
racially insensitive?
thing. Do the right thing. That's if you're gonna go watch a Rosie Perez movie.
She's in Do the Right Thing.
Oh.
I don't remember her in that.
Oh, yeah. Ice Cube.
Hmm.
You don't remember the Ice Cube scene from?
I don't. It was a
Oh.
while since I've seen that.
Wow, that's Rosie Perez. If anybody recalls the Ice Cube scene from Do the Right Thing, that is Rosie Perez.
I'm gonna look up Rosie Perez hot.
Well, yeah, that would
See what I get here.
You'll get the Ice Cube. It's what you'll get.
Oh, she's working with a lot.
What's that?
Mhm.
Well, okay. Are you talking about the fight? Or are you just going to talk about
Oh,
Rosie Perez?
right,
when
the
she was
fight.
hot?
Right.
You
Okay.
seem distracted.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
and we lost Will for the show.
Okay. No, I'm in it. So the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got tricked again.
Did you?
Yeah, because I think everybody was like hoping Mike Tyson would somehow knock out a guy who
Yeah.
I'm going to guess 82% of Americans find annoying and want to get punched in the face and knocked out.
82% of Americans.
I would say
Yeah,
so.
Okay.
And then
Might be low, but
take
yeah.
all Gen Zs and say like they like him, right?
Sure.
Because
Okay.
I mean he's popular for a
Fine.
reason.
Fine.
Yeah, I think most people over the age of 35.
Well, just even
think
the
that
hype,
guy is
even the
awful.
hype to the fight, the build up to the fight was funny to me because it was, and you and I were texting during the precursor. You didn't watch the undercard, which the one thing that I had heard throughout the week was the fight of last year or 2022 or whenever these two women, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, met the last time. It was the fight of the year, the last time they met, and so this is a rematch. That controversial split decision, so the rematch was going to be great. The rematch was, I don't know if it was great, it was crazy. They were just pummeling each other. So I watched that. You had missed that. But all of the buildup in the breaks and everything that was there was, this is going to be great.
Okay.
But when they actually finished the undercard, or I guess the co-main event, when they finished that, it started to get like, man, I loved Mike Tyson. I hope he can still do it. I hope he can still do it. I think he can still do it. And then it got like less confident as the, I don't know if you noticed this as much as I did. It got less confident as the fight got closer. But I text you as soon as Mike Tyson walked out. I was like, dude, this guy looks really old, and it's gonna be like I was kind of starting to. They're like, this is still. You have to remember, this is Mike Tyson, and Roy Jones fought him a couple years ago. He's still got the power, and you're like, well, if he's got the power, one punch could do it. But the second that he walked out and just looked a little shaky, but just looking into his eyes, he looked old.
Yeah.
And I text you, this is going to be bad. And it sounds like from the post presser that Jake Paul was like, yeah, I decided I didn't want to hurt him. I know he won the fight,
and you know
which
what?
makes it worse.
And it makes it worse from an entertainment value thing because let's all not lie to ourselves. Boxing, we watch it for violence.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
There really is, unless you are a boxer yourself, there's no real attractive aspect of its beauty or anything like that. Now, if you've heard Mike Tyson talk about it, which there is a really great, I think it's 2009 documentary just called Tyson. It's incredible because there's a good 10 minutes where he just talks strategy, and it is very interesting.
Yeah.
But from the untrained eye, which is most Americans, you watch boxing in order to see somebody knocked unconscious.
Well, okay.
Can we both agree on that?
No, I don't think we can because
really, you don't think most Americans watching that were like, I really hope he knocks Jake Paul out.
No, I think that was the hope going in, but the last fight that I remember watching was Floyd Mayweather. And I don't even think it was necessarily the Conor McGregor one, but where he was actually fighting. That guy does not knock
Pacquiao?
it. Maybe Pacquiao.
That's the last
that must
one
have
I
been
remember.
It. Yeah, that must have been it. But he doesn't try to knock people out. He just plays defense and he just fights. And the sweet science of boxing, he took it extreme in the other direction. The thing about Mike Tyson is I think people can watch because he has such a highlight reel of violence that I think it is more a Mike Tyson thing and less a boxing thing, but it's also the brand that Jake Paul has because he fights people that are not fighters. The stat going in is he had knocked out or knocked down every opponent that he's faced. This is a big dude fighting guys that aren't good fighters and throwing haymakers. So I think a lot of of the element was these two guys are going to try to knock each other out. So I think for this fight, yes. I think for boxing in general, no, because it's not like I don't think that was a boxing match.
Well, it was though.
I know it was sanctioned, but it was terrible.
Yeah.
I just don't consider it boxing. Like it was like I would rather watch somebody play the NES version of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
But see, dude, this is why we get fooled by this kind of stuff because I think this is every single boxing match. I don't think any boxing match anymore has a level of anticipation that actually meets or that actually
the fight before it was. I tuned into that based on the recommendations of multiple people that said, oh, if you're gonna watch a fight, that's gonna be it, and it lived up to it. And then they make the decision and it's off by 1 point and everybody gets pissed off and they're booing in there. I'm telling you, I have watched 0 boxing matches in the last 8 years or whatever. Yeah, it was probably the Pacquiao Mayweather fight. But I remember watching it when I was younger, and they used to have ESPN used to have their fight nights or whatever, and I would watch those every once in a while. But there's not that many knockouts. But then you go back and you show the Mike Tyson, highlight reels from his rise in the 80s and then until Buster Douglas, and that is just it's what you hope for, but it's not whatever happens. That's why Mike Tyson is such a folklore, is because he was the one guy that knocked everybody out. What was it, 50 wins and 44 by knockout? This guy was something else.
Well, and it wasn't only that, it was the style at which
Yes.
he boxed. And I would compare this to like tennis in a way. In that, we have Novak Djokovic, who is, by all statistical standards, and I mean, really playing wise, probably the greatest tennis player that ever lived.
Sure.
But you'll still get people that will remember Federer or Nadal more and revere them more because of the fact that there was style to it.
Yeah.
There was something that was a beauty of what they did. And really, when it comes down to it, what made Mike Tyson so exciting was that he was such a, even watching highlights, you get frightened for the other person.
Yes.
Like, you were frightened for Michael Spix because he was coming at him, and you knew it. You knew that after that, whatever it was, 3rd or 4th round bell, you were like, he's going to go murder him after this.
Yeah. Well,
Like, he's on the ropes. Tyson smells blood, and then what was it? Within like 5 seconds of the bell, he just knocks him clean. And there hasn't been a dude like that in boxing since him.
Well,
there
yeah,
hasn't.
but he hasn't been that dude since Buster Douglas.
Well, and
that's the other
fine.
thing. Is like,
but there hasn't been a
is
guy
his,
that's like that since.
Why,
No one.
Yes, but there wasn't anybody like that before. That's
Muhammad
what
Ali.
No,
Definitely.
Muhammad Ali did not go out and knock people out. The rope-a-dope is one of the most
Ow.
famous strategies they'd ever had.
Yeah, the
But-
one.
What's that?
The one.
Yeah, but he also, Muhammad Ali was very brash and would call his shots, and he was obviously a great fighter, but you and I didn't watch him fight live. The thing about Tyson was he was just a ball of fury. But the run, his undisputed championship run was 87-90. That's been 35 years since he was that guy. And he's not that guy anymore. When he stopped being a champion, Jake Paul was not born. So it's, his dad, Jake Paul's dad welled up when he heard that he was going to fight Tyson. Cool. Jake Paul knows who he is because people talk about him, but he didn't fight Mike Tyson. He fought an old version of Mike Tyson. And it was bad. The whole thing was just, it was ill-advised, and I guess you can say shame on us for getting caught up in it. But it was a publicity stunt, and it worked. And that's the unfortunate part, is it got everybody there, and it got everybody talking about it. We're still talking about it, but it was never a good idea to have that fight, and proof was in the actual fight.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. That's my piece.
Who do you want to fight next?
Honestly, I'm trying to think of where the intrigue would be to draw me to another fight.
I don't know. You don't even have to throw out a boxer.
I think the bigger thing was, I think Netflix did a terrible job with that.
Well, yeah, the production was
It
horrible
was
because they're not
awful.
good at sports,
No.
and that goes into my other point of just how much I hate streaming services doing sports,
Yeah.
how much I hate Thursday Night Football, how much. Now, as a first-time baseball fan, I despised Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV.
Yeah.
It was so bad, dude.
Yeah, it's
and this was no exception. They don't know what the hell they're doing.
yeah,
it's
and
bad.
The unfortunate part is there's plenty of people out there for hire that know what they're doing and they can just get them in there. But yeah, it was a sloppy production. It was a terrible fight, but it got people
Mhm.
watching in 190 countries around the world, and it drew everybody into it. And, you go, you watching this? Yes, I was watching that fight. Everybody was watching that fight. And why? Well, with hindsight being 2020, it's definitely something we could have missed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
You seem sad. I know you want it to be great. I know you want Tyson to win. Just so you know, Shedeur Sanders on the opening drives has already thrown a pick against Utah.
Oh boy, that's probably going to drive his draft stock down, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, this game is big. They still have a chance to get to the Big 12 championship game and make the college football playoffs. So this game, important. Utah coming off a loss in the Holy War. That's right. We've already started talking college football. Let's go that way. There's some good games to start this slate today.
Mhm.
You want to start there? You want to dive right into Oregon, Wisconsin?
No, well, sure.
Let's go early slate. We'll talk
go
about the
ahead.
early slate.
No, wait.
They're playing at Wrigley today on the early slate. We'll start there. Center and Saint, 1080 The Fan.
Hey, it's Suk for A&E Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Before getting a new train system installed, I was guilty of getting one quick fix after another. Then I found a team that educated me on how to keep my house comfortable, and they showed me the difference between a cheap stopgap and an affordable long-term solution. So don't get caught in the cycle of spending as little as possible again and again and again. Solve your HVAC issues for the long haul. Call A&E Plumbing, Heating, and Air or visit aeheatingandcooling.com, your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. CCB number 203004.
Here's what you need for Thanksgiving: a Mary's free-range organic turkey from Laurelhurst Market, Steakhouse, and Butcher Shop. Let the experts do the work and you take the credit. Hey, it's Rob. Perhaps the confit turkey leg and thighs better suit you, or new this year, a turkey breast roulade stuffed with Italian sausage, herbs, and garlic. I mean, come on. Add on the traditional side, serving 4 to 6 in ready-to-heat containers, and you're done. Call Laurelhurst Market now, order your feast, and pick it up the week of Thanksgiving. Full list of offerings at laurelhurstmarket.com.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota compact tractors. The Kubota L-Series is the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. They're designed for easy operation and feature performance meshed attachments. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months, plus save up to $300. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit Rick Riel Farm Supply online at rickfarm.com or Dan's Tractor and Battleground online at danstractor.com.
If you've been arrested for a DUI, call the Reynolds Defense Firm. This is McDaniel Reynolds with the Reynolds Defense Firm, and we specialize in just one thing. We represent good people facing DUI charges. If you've been arrested, the first thing you need is to find the right law firm to help you. The kind of law firm you can place your faith and trust into. A law firm that you can believe in, and one that will believe in you too. The Reynolds Defense Firm is exactly that kind of law firm for the clients we work with. We do fantastic legal work, and our team is second to none. While every case is unique and outcomes differ, what I can say is that our successes in the courtroom often border on amazing. And this isn't just a happy coincidence. Our attorneys have more than 35 years of experience in Oregon's DUI laws, and we understand the criminal justice system inside and out. When I say we do just one thing, I mean it, and this is why we are so effective. The Reynolds Defense Firm isn't right for everyone, but we are exactly the right firm to help good people who face DUI charges. Please keep our number in your telephone, and if someone you believe in has been arrested for a DUI, please call us right away. The Reynolds Defense Firm. We're solid, we're here if you need us, and we are very good at what we do.
This holiday at T-Mobile, I'm joined by a special co-anchor.
What up, everybody? It's your boy, Big Snoop D-O-double-G.
Snoop, let's talk about T-Mobile.
Okay, cool.
This holiday, get 4 lines for $25 a line, plus 4 iPhone 16s with Apple Intelligence and the all-new camera control on us.
Let's get cracking, like a breakfast egg.
You can use those eggs to make some eggnog, Snoop.
Respect.
And people do love T-Mobile, where you can save on every plan versus the other big guys.
You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
Always a great stocking stuffer, Snoop.
We up out of here.
Hold your horses, Snoop D-O-double-G. Let's remind people one more time.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get 4 iPhone 16s with Apple Intelligence on us, plus 4 lines for $25. Now drop that jingle.
With 24 monthly bill credits, 4 eligible trade-ins, and 4 new lines with autopay. Well-qualified customers plus taxes and fees and $35 per line connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits and credit stop and balance on required finance agreements due. $829.99 credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save on wireless and streaming versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence available now.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for University Housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Sinner and the Saint Tailgate with Luke Anderson and Will Darkins on 1080 The Fan.
I don't know about you, Mr. Darkins, but I really am kind of feeling these championship races in the major 4 college football conferences. This, to me, is at least intriguing. Right now, sitting atop the Big Ten standings, you've got Indiana and Oregon, both undefeated, 10-0 on the season. Ohio State, Penn State looming right behind them. Next week we've got Penn State or Indiana, Ohio State on the docket. So we've got 4 teams right there that feel like they belong in the playoffs. Behind them, Iowa, not really worried about that. Looking at the SEC, you got the Tennessee Volunteers, Texas A&M Aggies as 1 and 2 right now. Longhorns, Georgia Bulldogs, Ole Miss, Alabama sitting right behind them. Missouri and LSU both with 2 losses in the conference as well. So I think that one's intriguing. But let's go to the other 2 because somebody has to get in from the ACC and the Big 12. Did you know that?
I did actually, and I just became aware of that a week or 2 ago.
And does that disappoint you a little bit?
Not really. And actually, what was funny was I was watching College Game Day, and they were trying really hard to explain like the math, I guess, or like how exactly the playoff works.
Okay.
And
you did not understand this, I'm guessing.
No, I understand.
I'm guessing you didn't.
They well, the best part of it was that they were all given physical pointers.
Oh, good.
Like, do you remember the
long sticks?
Yeah, right. The
Oh,
ones
nice.
you can
I'm with you.
retract or detract. Yeah, they all
Retractable.
had those.
Yeah.
And it was only Reese Davis who was using it to like talk about certain teams. All the other ones were just
hitting each
holding
other.
it and just flicking it and doing this. The natural thing you would do if somebody gave you a pointer, but then was like, "Look, I don't want you to do anything with it." You're like, "Well."
Yeah, so they're fencing. You've got Desmond Howard and Kirk Herbstreit fencing.
That's pretty much what it was. My whole thing with the college football playoff, the new version of it, your 12-team
The
edition.
inaugural season of the 12-team playoff.
The only thing I really enjoyed about it was the fact that you had conference winners who got automatic buys.
Yeah.
And that I thought was really, really good. Now, the part I don't like a lot is that we're still talking about the idea that a 3-loss SEC team could get in, which I think is complete horse bleep.
Sure.
If you're a 3-loss team, you don't belong there.
Yeah.
You don't.
I don't
no matter
disagree.
what your schedule is, no matter what's going on, it doesn't matter. If you're a 3-loss team in any conference,
get lost.
Leave. There's no spot for you. The fact that Boise State is still ranked as low as they are and is clinging to life with a Heisman candidate on their roster seems kind of odd to me.
Yeah.
The fact that they're putting Indiana so high, I think is odd because I don't think Indiana is that good.
Yeah,
I think
but you're
we're
using
gonna
the
see
eyeball
that
test.
against Ohio State.
Well, I guess here's the thing that doesn't bother me about Indiana being ranked high. They're 10-0.
They're 10-0, but 5?
What's that?
Come on.
Well, yeah, but 5. But they all it does is it inflates what they're doing. The funny thing is that they're behind Penn State and Texas, who have losses on their schedule. When you look at it, like Ohio State's losses to Oregon, and that's the number 1 team. So if you want to put them at number 2, that's fine to me.
Yeah.
But why not inflate it? And they have to play each other. That's the thing that always gets me is like, yeah, you can stack them up wherever you want, but if they have to play each other, they're going to get knocked off. And how far is Indiana going to drop if they lose to Ohio State? How far? I mean, it depends on how they lose.
They'll be on the brim at that point.
Like down to 13 or 14.
Well, it'll be like who do we put in, Boise State or Indiana?
Yeah,
they will. And I mean, that's the point of it is that
the highest ranked non-Power 4 conference will get in, and that will most likely be Boise State. So as long as they take care of business, I mean, Army is there at 9-0 at the bottom, so they could technically finish undefeated, but they have Notre Dame that they have to beat. So looking at the games that we have next week, when you've got Notre Dame, Army, and Indiana, Ohio State, that's gonna decide whether or not Notre Dame or Army gets in, right? Like Army will be eliminated if they lose to, no doubt. But I think Notre Dame's eliminated too if they lose to Army somehow, which I don't expect to happen. But does
Notre Dame's a 1-loss team?
Yes, because they lost to Northern Illinois University, as you'll recall, early in the season, second game.
I don't recall.
Oh yeah, NIU jumped up to number 25 after beating Notre Dame. Because if you can beat Notre Dame, you belong up there. So they are, and they got beat pretty handily in that game. It was.
So you think that a 2-loss Notre Dame team won't make it in?
I think so. If they lose to Army, I think Army takes their spot. Why wouldn't they?
Because never underestimate.
Okay.
That's
fine.
There's 3 truths in this world.
Is that
taxes? Notre Dame must be good, and the SEC is college football. If you think differently,
Yeah,
move away
fair enough.
from this country.
So you have BYU ranked
America.
too low and Indiana ranked too high. Is that what you're telling me? I want to make
Uh,
sure that I'm following kind of what you got going on.
yeah, I think with BYU,
Because they're 6 and Indiana's 5.
yeah, and we're gonna get the beat on BYU obviously in the title game because I think that BYU only has like one more kind of possible speed bump.
Well, BYU, I mean, they should have lost to Utah, but they've got Kansas, Arizona State, and Houston.
Yeah.
So today they've got Kansas, who just
So they don't really have a lot. It's the Colorado, the eventual Colorado game that will decide all this really for BYU. And I think that's also another part of this that's going to get very confusing is that if you have a BYU team that goes into the Big 12 title game undefeated and Colorado, who is a 2-loss team, which if they get to the title game, then I would assume they are still a 2-loss team.
Yep.
And they beat BYU. Riddle me that.
What do you mean? They would get in, and BYU, I would guess.
You think BYU would get in
No, I think Colorado gets in, and BYU's probably out.
with one loss?
I think so. Yeah.
That, my friend, is what doesn't make sense about this.
Okay, but what's BYU's biggest win of the year?
So what? Who cares? They're a 1-loss team. Why is Boise State a 1-loss team that'll get in?
Because they lost to the number 1 team in the country.
So it doesn't matter.
And
What was the rest of their schedule? They had nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
BYU in this case would lose to a Colorado, again, hypothetical, would lose to a Colorado team that would be ranked, I don't know, on the fringes. They'd be probably 13 at that point.
Yeah, they'd probably be floating up there.
Yeah.
Depends on what happens in front of
So?
it. But you get the mayhem up there. But
They have a stronger schedule, I think, than Boise State.
Yes, but the conference champion, the highest ranked conference champion from a non-Power 5 will get in. Big 12 is a Power 5 conference. So there is a bye waiting for the winner of that game. I have no problem if they put BYU in. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. It might have been last week. But what do you need to be a Cinderella team in this tournament? I think teams like Army, BYU, as a non-conference winner, that kind of feels Cinderella. Just to get into the tournament and get your crack against the last SEC team in, I think it's going to be a thrill. If
we've already talked about this, though.
Yes, I
the
know.
whole
That's
Cinderella
what I'm.
thing
That's
and
what
how
I'm
it doesn't
saying.
work.
Well, it works fine for me. Is this not a Cinderella season for BYU if
Well, no,
they go undefeated?
No, not at all.
They expect
Cinderella
to be
is
there?
defined by a run in a playoff.
No,
that's why it's exclusive
Cinderella
to
is defined by a stepsister who gets relegated to cleaning the house. It is somebody that doesn't belong there. It is somebody that against all odds makes it to the big dance.
Right. Let me flip it for you then. Were the Kings a Cinderella team 2 years ago in the NBA?
I don't know.
They were ranked third.
Yes,
they surprised everybody.
Yeah,
they weren't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And then they lost in 7 games to Golden State, who
It's
eventually lost to, I forget who in the next
Yes, it's a 16-team playoff where everybody gets in out of half the league gets into the playoffs out of 30 teams. This is a pool of 130 teams, and there are 12 spots. That's why I put this as a broader a possibility of just getting into the college football playoff. Like Cincinnati making it into the 4-team college football playoff was surreal. Did they?
They beat Notre Dame.
But that was surreal. I think getting the opportunity to make it into one of these tournaments, there's going to be, I guess the way I look at it is, let's say BYU gets in, even if they don't win the Big 12. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be very excited for them and go, maybe they could do it. But at the same time, there's going to be a bunch of people going, they don't belong here. I think that is kind of the defining thing. If Army goes undefeated, beats Notre Dame, that is a Cinderella season, and they throw them in the college football playoff. Everybody's expecting them to get in the house. There's going to be plenty of people saying they don't belong, and the rest of the people are going to be rooting for them. I think that's kind of the definition of it.
Okay.
I just think you have to adjust it for college football because college football is so dumb. And pro sports, I don't think you really have Cinderellas. I just don't. They're all professionals.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, every once in a while you'll get it where like an 8 seed will win in the NBA, but it happens in hockey all the time. And wild card teams winning in the NFL, that's not a shock. I think it's a lot harder to be a Cinderella in pro sports than it is in college sports.
I disagree with you on that.
That's fine. That's fine. Name me a Cinderella then in the modern
by your
era
standards,
of pro sports.
Well, by your standards of what a Cinderella is, what I would say is that your Seahawks team that got in with a losing record.
Yeah.
Who was that?
It would have been the first.
That's the Beastquake, right?
Yeah, Tavares Jackson.
Yeah, you beat the defending Super Bowl champs at home.
Yeah.
That is Cinderella, man. Against all odds.
Yeah, but they
defending
won one
Super Bowl champions. You get.
Yeah, but then what they do the next week?
Well, so okay, how the heck would BYU then be a Cinderella if they get in and then immediately get dusted by?
We're talking semantics, but
Come on.
I just don't think Cinderellas exist in pro sports like they do in college sports. The number one place we go to point out Cinderella stories is in the tournament, the NCAA basketball tournament. And the reason that they're Cinderellas when they make it to the tournament on a conference championship win to get into the tournament, then they win a couple games in the tournament, is because that's the only time anybody pays attention to college basketball. The difference in college football is we pay attention all year, but there's about as many games that matter in college football in the entire season as they are in just the tournament of college basketball. That's why I'm trying to redefine the parameters. There's more opportunities for teams that, have a great year to get in. A couple years ago, Tulane would have been in, which would have been a ton of fun. Do they have to win a game for it to be an epic season? I don't think they do. Teams like Boise State getting in and having a shot to win one of these games, do they have to win for it to be an epic season? I don't think they do. That's, I guess, my point. If you look back and go, dude, we're Boise State and we made the college playoff and we had a Heisman Trophy finalist. Dude, what a season. Do they have to win 2 games in the college football playoff for that to be so? I don't think so. I think that would be an all-time for Army to get into the first college football playoff by beating Notre Dame and having a perfect season. I would be all in on that story. It's got me excited. Is it going to happen? Probably not, but that's why it's fun. Number 1 Oregon Ducks travel to Camp Randall today.
Oh,
they do.
My Ducks.
Your
I just love my Ducks.
He's wearing a Beaver sweatshirt right now.
That's true.
Then they have a bye week. Then they have Washington. Any chance the Ducks trip up before they get to the Big Ten title game? We'll talk about that after this Sports Zone Update.
All right, it's still quite early for the 9 a.m. games in your top 25. We'll start with a scoreless Ohio State Northwestern.
Very exciting. I'll tell you what, it's not scoreless. How about at UMass? Liberty at UMass. And right now, the Minutemen have a 7-0 lead with 35 seconds left in the first.
Texas up early, 7-0 on Arkansas, 5.5 left first quarter.
The Green Wave against the Midshipmen, 0-0, 1:14 left in the first.
Get off my lawn.
Oh, whoa.
They
Sorry.
are 25th.
They are 25th.
Damn it.
I only have 2 non-top 25 games. Oh, Tulane snuck in.
They're 25th.
Oh, man.
Cross fingers, future Pac-12 team, Tulane.
Navy? Oh.
I'd take Navy. Colorado's up 7-3 on Utah with about 8 minutes left in the first, and Clemson's up 7-0 on Pittsburgh, 5.5 left.
Well, let me get what you're really waiting for. Let me get your Hilltoppers score here. Louisiana Tech, the Bulldogs at Western Kentucky. The Hilltoppers trailed 0-3 in that one, end of the first.
More sports scores in 30 minutes. Will Darkins from the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
This is Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Child custody is the most emotional issue our clients face. If you're a divorcing father, the relationship with your children is about to change. But that change doesn't have to be for the worse. Kids already feel the stress of parents who don't get along, and they can thrive after a divorce. Kids trust their dads. Their dads trust Goldberg Jones. Call 1-800-DIVORCE and get your phone questions answered at no charge.
Serving the greater Portland, Vancouver area.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1225. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or biglou.com.
Portland Perks. Oaks Park Roller Rink is the oldest roller skating facility in the United States and is the largest skating floor west of the Mississippi. Right now, you can buy 2 skating passes and get 2 more free. A limited quantity is available only at portlandperks.com. Oaks Park, where the fun never ends.
As the leaves turn and the air crisps, find your escape in the heart of Hood River at the Best Western Plus Hood River Inn, just an hour's drive from Portland. Unwind in style with our heated outdoor pool and inviting hot tubs. Dine at our restaurant, Riverside, which offers not just delicious cuisine, but a feast for the eyes with its panoramic river vistas. Plan your autumn retreat today and savor everything Hood River has to offer. Booking details at hoodriverinn.com.
Your coworkers might annoy you, but we promise we won't. Download the free Odyssey app and you can listen to us at work while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Tune in late? You can rewind your favorite live shows to catch what you missed. And with Chapters, easily jump to the topics that you care about most, like the latest updates from your team. Your sports talk, your way. The Odyssey app. Download it today.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
The Sinner and the Saint Tailgate with Luke Anderson and Will Darkins on 1080 The Fan.
Mr. Darkins, you played in the mighty Pac-10?
And 12.
And 12. And 12. You've been watching Oregon with the amount of disdain a former Beaver should this year. But wanted to get your kind of vibe on the Big Ten as a conference. This is the second big road trip, I would say, of the year. So Oregon played at Michigan, Purdue, UCLA, and now going to Camp Randall, one of those road games this year at UCLA, hyped as their first Big Ten game, was kind of hilarious to me, even though UCLA looks like they're a little bit better than they did against Oregon. But you've got the trip to Michigan, you got the trip to Wisconsin. How big is it to go into these environments? You've talked about playing at Penn State and how big that was. Like, going into these hostile environments, how much does that actually affect the game? And from just a college football fan, how much do you like seeing Oregon's uniforms in a place, or anticipate liking Oregon in a place like Camp Randall?
I think obviously it brings a whole new flavor for us here in the Northwest, because we were so used to and so ingrained in the rivalries and the atmospheres we had before, right? Yeah. I mean, think about, some of the more, what I would say, under the radar, difficult places to play. I would tell you Arizona is very difficult to play.
Yeah, especially early in the season, I would imagine.
Yeah, I guess so. I think it's more the student section, which is
they get loud.
the first 15 rows all across one side of the stadium.
Yeah.
They call it the zoo. And, you have places like that. You have kind of more daunting areas to play for other reasons, like Cal, where the stadium's empty. And that's weird.
Pullman late in the year.
It is very weird. Pullman late in the year is somewhat bad, though. It's fine. The field's fine.
Yeah.
The field's nice.
Yeah, they do a nice job.
Um,
They can get blistering cold out there, though. I mean,
but
some of those
otherwise,
games-
we're still kind of in this phase where we're trying to get used to, and we're still trying to build what rivalries are and trying to define them. Will Oregon Ohio State be a rivalry? We don't know. The first game of this instance was great.
Yeah, it was.
And hopefully they play more like that, and then you can kind of develop that type of rivalry. There was already something a little bit ingrained with Oregon and Michigan, if everybody remembers the Statue of Liberty and the fake Statue of Liberty.
They won't play at Ohio State next year, but they'll
No.
be at Ohio State in 2026.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think, too, that's another part of this that kind of makes it a little bit irritating is the fact that because there are now so many teams in conferences, you get spotty play.
Yep.
Right, everybody can't play each other
Every
unless
year,
they
yeah.
expand. Yeah, unless they expand the schedule. Everybody can't play each other.
Even if they did expand the schedule, they'd have to expand it to 30 games to get,
Yeah, right,
get
yeah.
all the games in.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at this point. I don't have a real good sense of it, honestly, because I think all of this is still just so new, and I think that a lot of it is going to get kind of deconstructed and I don't want to say ruined, but kind of spoiled because of the fact that this has become professionalized now. There are ingrained rivalries in pro sports, but they quite honestly don't really mean as much as what college football used to mean. Right?
Yeah.
If you're a Bears fan and you're going to a Packers game, yeah, I'm sure that means a lot to you.
Yeah.
But for the most part, none of that crap really matters until you get to the playoffs or if you win a division. And that's kind of it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I'm also speaking as a sore and sour fan who had his rivalry blown up.
They played.
Well, come on. It's bull crap. I mean, it's what they did with Miami, Florida State after a certain point, which is just, we'll play it really early and it won't mean anything.
When they're non-conference, you kind of have to. It's kind of the way it's built. There's only a few that play late, like USC, Notre Dame is one that kind of
and it's dumb because it doesn't mean anything at that point in the year. It just doesn't because there's nothing really on the line at that point.
Okay,
and it's not like there really would be a for Oregon State now.
Let me ask you this question.
You gotta hope you can beat Air Force today.
If I could put you in a time machine, what would be the one place if you could go and play that you didn't get to play that you would want to go? Is there? And because I never played college football. I see the environments, but I've never been that big of a college football fan compared to the NFL. So there's not like the hallowed grounds of Death Valley or Between the Hedges or the Horseshoe or all of these places. I never thought that I would play in any of those or came close to it. You got to play at Beaver Stadium, and I'm sure you had hosted some big games. But where would you go play if you could put that time machine in?
Which stadium would I want to play in most?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the Big House obviously would be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I actually got quite a lot of opportunities to play in great places. I mean, Autzen was great. Beaver Stadium was great. I got to play in Jerry's World.
Yeah, that's pretty
which
cool.
was slightly underwhelming because there weren't as many people in it.
Yeah.
Because we were the early game of the big slate. We were playing TCU, who I believe was ranked 3rd or 4th at the time.
Yeah.
I got to play at Boise State, which actually was a pretty unique and great experience.
On the blue turf, yeah.
Because the fans were just insane. Yeah, the blue turf was something, but
it
was more the fans.
What was the biggest game that you hosted where you remember going like, oh, this feels a little bit like a road game? Were there any of those where it felt like you got a swarm of fans, or did you not have any?
Oh, anytime we played Oregon, I mean, that was kind of it.
But no home and homes
I'm
with
trying
anybody?
to think of like who, because they never really any regular season game or out of conference games. It was always no one they brought to us. Yeah, it was never anybody like that.
Well, the one thing that
I think Cincinnati was the only big one, and they weren't even big at the time. Now that was Brian Kelly Cincinnati, and they weren't considered great at the time because they were still unknown.
Were either of the Kelsey brothers there?
I think the fat one was
the fat Kelsey.
Yeah,
old
the fat one who's really great at his broadcast job.
Yeah. Well,
why do they keep doing this crap?
What do you mean?
We'll
just rolling out turds for broadcast?
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe we can talk about it later because now I'm kind of getting off here. But right? Doesn't it seem a little weird that the last few players they've brought up just stink to high hell?
Yeah, but
Fitzpatrick's terrible. The Kelsey brother, the fat one's awful.
Yeah, but our broadcast
Drew Brees was terrible.
Yeah, he was back.
Tom Brady's
he was
awful.
on another broadcast. Drew Brees was back on another broadcast. But
yeah.
Also, are the play-by-play guys getting worse?
No, in fact, I think we have a great slate of dudes who. I mean, Kevin Burkhardt's great. Kevin Harlan's obviously awesome. Thursday Night Football.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think that's. I think that's a course.
Let's go ahead and put a pin in that. What I can say about today is whether or not Wisconsin is going to be competitive in this game. The atmosphere is going to be awesome.
It will be great. Yes.
Unfortunately, that's the thing I'm most excited about. I will ask you the question that I kind of teased already later in the show, but I do want to know if you think that there's any chance that Oregon hiccups against Wisconsin today or Washington in 2 weeks. But we will discuss that later. First, we need to get to good versus evil. We do that next. It is the Sinner and the Saint on 1080 The Fan. For more than 50 years, PG Long has been the Pacific Northwest's premier choice for floor covering, cleaning, and restoration. By building partnerships with their customers, vendors, and suppliers, they can install quality floor coverings promptly and within your budget. And more importantly, deliver accurate information on processes, products, and pricing, guaranteeing a hassle-free experience for you. Before you take another step, call PG Long for a bid to experience the difference. PG Long, your Northwest flooring experts. Online at pglongllc.com.
For Warren Allen, Attorneys at Law, I'm George McCoy, wishing you a happy fall. But leaves, rain, and kids back in school can make driving tricky for all. If you're in an accident, call me and we'll sort it out. To get what you deserve, go to warrenallen.com and give us a shout.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Meet Viant AI, the world's first fully autonomous advertising platform. With Viant AI, you can automate media planning, analyze results, and drive smarter decisions, all while saving you time and resources. Viant AI helps you unlock new potential and boost productivity regardless of your expertise. Visit Viant.ai today and see how the future of artificial intelligence in advertising can work for you.
When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
"This is ludicrous."
But that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Have you been too busy to keep up on sports this week?
What has happened to What has happened? What has happened to the national interest?
No time to form your own opinions?
I stand before you here today in the midst of gnarly times.
Well, no worries, brah. Let the Sinner and the Saint shred the gnar while you just sit back and ride the wave. It's time for Good versus Evil, brought to you by the Titan of Hawaiian Restaurants, 808 on 1080 The Fan.
And hats off to Joey, man. He's my man. I love him to life. He's a great coach. Taught me so much about the game, taught me so much about coaching and so much about life.
There's a man with a muted headset during games, Deion Sanders. Let's talk about Sanders. He was asked on Fox Sports 1 this week if he would intervene if he felt the wrong team was going to draft his quarterback's son, Shedeur. Coach Prime said he would do it privately. The big thing to him was his team's infrastructure and support that they would provide Shedeur. Deion said he wanted an organization that understands what it's doing. Do you think that we're going to get an Eli Manning draft moment?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
Really?
Yes, on steroids. It will be manipulated in every way possible. It is. Here's the thing about what he's done at Colorado is we had all the hype last year going into it. They kind of got forgotten about for a big chunk of this season. But right now, they've already got a 14-3 lead on Utah. Shedeur Sanders is – they just picked him off again as I say that. Shedeur Sanders does look like Utah. They picked off Utah. Yeah. Colorado did. But, yeah, Shedeur Sanders looks like a very competent quarterback. And he was asked – I think it was Brock Heward that was talking with him getting ready for one of the games. And he goes, what do you think about Shedeur Sanders as a comp to Charlie Ward? And he goes, nah, Charlie Ward was a point guard, and he played point guard and was great at that and then was a good quarterback. But all Shedeur has done his entire life was build up to be a quarterback in the NFL. So this has been very much engineered from the beginning, so why would he not engineer the draft as well?
Obviously, expectations of myself are always going to be high. We still have 9 games. It's going to keep being high. Every game that we go into, we just got to figure out, what's the next step. Got to figure out, how to get the win this next week. This game's over. Can't change this game, but we definitely can change the future.
There's human punching bag Caleb Williams. This move was pretty easy to call, though I'm not sure it was the right guy. This week, the Bears fired offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. Caleb Williams will remain the starting quarterback, but the Bears' season is quickly getting away from them after their Hail Mary loss to the Commanders. Does the season have potential to ruin Williams' career?
Yeah, I think there's always potential for a coaching change to really throw things off. That's been one of the things that's pretty consistent when you look at guys that end up being busts in the NFL, is that they change coaches every season for the first however many seasons, and it's really hard to get your footing. And that happens even with the guys that are great. Justin Herbert is no longer being talked about as being on the trajectory of having one of the great young careers in football, despite them doing well, because they've got a new coach that has really focused on going in and going, hey, let's just be a good ground and pound, get the offense in. Now, he has the potential now to sit back and not be the focal point of the offense and grow from there. But if they end up firing Eberflus after already firing an offensive coordinator and then bring in the wrong guy again, get somebody else fired in the next couple of years. The other thing, I don't know if you heard the rumors this week, is that I guess veteran players are asking the team to bench Caleb Williams. So if he ends up being a pouty little baby and can't find his way in the locker room, that's another sure way to get Brock Osweiler.
I don't think they're doing it because of that.
Well, I don't know why they're doing it.
I think they're doing it because they see what we're all seeing, which is this. This is why I asked the question, which is this guy's career might get ruined.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But if he ends up,
Robert Griffin III's career did get ruined. It's just he had a really great stretch of games before that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think everybody's seeing the same thing, and for whatever reason, I know the reason. The Bears, they got to sell tickets, so they're keeping him in there. But, if this kid gets a injury, because there are flashes. There have been flashes. Look, I didn't think this guy really was worthy of the number 1 pick, though I do think he has potential to be a very good quarterback in the league. There have been flashes of that. But his offensive line is bad.
The two things
he gets hit more than anyone in the league.
But he also holds onto the ball longer than anyone in the league, so he's not doing himself favors.
Sit.
There are two things that derail quarterbacks, I think, more consistently than anything else.
Drugs. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's Jamarcus Russell.
Oh, sorry.
But I think it is bad coaching, and it is a bad connection with teammates. And if they're asking to bench, and it's because of the reason that they don't believe in this guy, and he doesn't have the leadership skills, or he loses confidence. Because a guy like this, it's always been great. When he rolled out of bed in the morning, he was great. His entire life, if he doesn't know how to handle the adversity and ends up losing his confidence and doesn't have the leadership skills or the human skills to get back on track, he's in trouble. If he doesn't have the right leadership around him, where he doesn't have somebody that puts him in a position where he can succeed, he's toast. So I think right now it feels like both things are a real possibility.
I'm watching an ad, and apparently Deion Sanders has a TV show now too.
Sure, why not? Yeah, I think it's his wife's show that he shows up on. Is he going to manipulate the draft? Of course he is.
I absolutely hate the fact that we have, as a sports viewing culture, just kneeled to this douche.
What do you mean? They're winning. They're about to win the Big 12.
He's
take?
A two-loss team.
I don't care. They're one loss.
He was Sportsman of the Year last year. You know that?
As
The
he
losing
should.
record.
Yeah, well, listen. Who do we talk about more at the beginning of last year's college football season than Deion Sanders?
Cannot wait for the Cowboys to hire him.
Oh, my God. That'll be great.
And they're going to be terrible, too.
What are you talking about? He'll hire the best coordinator. You know how many celebrities he'll have on the sideline there?
All right, time for my favorite story of the week. This one comes from Colorado. Just kidding, California.
Ah, bummer.
Headline: Person dressed in a bear costume to fake attacks on cars for insurance payout.
Nice. So they're setting up cameras.
Right.
Guy gets in a bear costume, rips off somebody's side view mirror, punches out their glass, and then they call the insurance.
The so-called bear
Yes.
was claimed to have entered and damaged a 2010 Rolls-Royce Ghost on January 8th while it was parked at Lake Arrowhead in the San Bernardino Mountains in Los Angeles. Video was submitted to the insurance company that alleged to show the animal entering the car. Okay, now,
love all of this.
How long did it take before they go, that's a fake bear?
When the costume's head fell off for a second, it was a dead giveaway.
But like,
wait,
yeah.
real quick. Sorry, can you rewind that? Is that bear wearing Nikes? Yeah, I think that was a dead giveaway.
Huh.
Oh yeah,
I've never seen that, but I've never been to California, so
It's
I
true.
don't know. Yeah, I feel like I'd get it immediately.
I want to see the video.
Yeah.
And how
Let's see
much?
if they're
What
in
I'd
it.
like to know is, did they hire an actor? How much work did they
Oh,
put
I don't
into
think
emulating
so.
a bear? Like, I want to know.
You'd have to watch the film.
Yeah,
I
wanna see
mean,
the
like
film.
you'd as the person committing this fraud, you're right.
Yeah.
You'd have to watch a lot of bear film
Yes.
to be like, how do they move?
Yep.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a guy dressed up like Brian Urlacher goes in there. The bear did it. It's a person dressed like Brian Urlacher. He's got very skinny arms.
Upon further scrutiny of the video, the investigation determined the bear was actually a person in a bear's costume, the insurance department said in a statement. This group that committed this also submitted claims for damage on two other cars, a 2015 G63 and a 2022 Mercedes E350. Again, with video, and again with somebody in a bear costume. the
You know what?
insurance
You know what
company
I hate about this? I really hate about this story, and I just realized.
What?
We're on the side of the insurance company.
No, I'm not at all. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm on the side of these fraudsters. I'm just
Oh,
saying I don't
okay.
think they did a good enough job.
Yeah, well, and to submit 3 claims all with
Yeah.
the same. Come on.
Story, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you
moose-
gotta,
get a moose costume.
Yeah.
Get a
the
Yeti.
two-person moose costume.
Yeah,
The one working the legs.
You
and the
got
other,
it. That's what I'm picturing. Yeah, you're with me. You're with me.
You could do the horse too.
Yeah. Just
horse kicking a door.
Yeah, kick it out the back window. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's all animal attack.
See that? Yeah, I'm not on the side of the insurance company. I'm just saying I think more effort could have been put in on the fraudster's side.
No question.
Also, like you can't do that with a bear. I mean, you'd have to stuff it, right? Like bears are massive. A person in a bear costume, even somebody who is as big as like 6'5", 250.
Yeah.
You'd got to stuff it though. Bears are like a ton.
Why not just cut down a tree nearby off camera and have it fall onto the thing?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and let's be honest. I mean, I guess they would go and investigate the location if they see the chainsaw marks.
The bear costume's pretty crappy too, by the way.
Yeah. Well, obviously, if it didn't work. Well, that's our good versus evil, ladies and gentlemen. It's brought to you by our friends at 808 Hawaiian Restaurant. And one thing I can tell you about 808, they have never tried to file an insurance claim with somebody in a fake bear costume. They are good people. They make good food, and they have 3 locations for your convenience. They are in Beaverton. They are on Burnside. They are in Woodstock. So get their food for your tailgate celebration today. Website's easy, ate-oh-ate.com.
Is that bear drinking a coffee? Yeah. That's not right, is it? Mike, can I get you to come in here?
Yeah.
I'm seeing something weird here.
Just looking at this bear. I'm looking at this guy in a bear costume, and
I feel right. Like if you got that video, it would take you all of what 5 seconds?
Dude.
You'd see it, and then you'd go, "That looks like a costume."
how many people would you call in to watch that video? If the office had 60 people, you'd call in
Yeah.
everybody but Diane.
I'd send
Right?
the all staff.
Oh, yeah.
Get in here.
Let's go.
I have to show you this.
Oh my gosh, how is that? Is the video out there? Is that the most viral?
I'll try to
video?
find it.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that we don't have that yet.
Let's see. I'll try to find it.
All right, well that's fantastic. Hour 2, we got some NFL to talk about. We'll get more back into the Ducks. Are those words? And then we got to talk about the Blazers. I know you don't want to. They had quite a week. Quite a week. Hour 2 is chock full. We do it next. Dinner and Saint, 1080 The Fan.
I'm Leif, owner of Leif's Auto Collision Centers. A recent survey found 90% of auto collision repairs performed at insurance-recommended discount body shops were substandard. Why? Insurance companies require these preferred discount shops fix cars on the cheap with imitation parts and cutting corners. You have a choice. The insurance-preferred body shop or Leif's. Pre-loss condition, factory parts, pickup and delivery across the Northwest, loaners, deduct assist. Leif's, we're number 1 for a reason. Auto accident? Worried about your deductible? Don't. Before you file a claim, call Leif's Auto Collision Centers. Leif's unique program can help. Unlike the other body shops, we don't work for insurance companies. We work for you. Remember, you have the right to choose who repairs your vehicle. That's the law. Call me at Leif's before you file a claim. And of course, pickup and delivery throughout the Northwest, factory parts, pre-loss repairs. Leif's Auto Collision Centers, family owned for 34 years, the finest in collision repair.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunk Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on 2 wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
The home of Danny and Dusty, always live on the Odyssey app, is KFXX KWJJ HD2 Portland 1080 The Fan.
I'll just roll it out into the river.
Not the river.
An Odyssey sports station. Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on the Fan, just 2 games remain on the regular schedule season for the number 1 team in all the land. The Oregon Ducks traveling to Madison to bag some Badgers, Wisconsin Badgers, that is. Football starts tonight. And you can catch all that action right here on your home for the Ducks, 1080 The Fan, after Sinner and St. Tailgate. Ducks Coaches Show at 11 o'clock noon. It's Ducks Game Day with Dirt Dusty and Anthony Newman. Then at 12:30, we kick it over to our network pregame with Jerry and Jorgie, taking us all the way until 4:30 kick. Ducks Badgers. Don't forget to stick around afterwards for Ducks postgame. Ryan Buckley, Will Ortner breaking down all of the day's action. Top 25 scoreboard in this 9 o'clock hour sees Ohio State up 14-7 on Northwestern, Texas up 10-0 on Arkansas, Colorado up 14-3 on Utah, while Clemson's up 14-7 on Pittsburgh, and Tulane up 7-0 on Navy. All these games just around the start of the second quarter. And the Oregon State Beavers hope to stay in bowl eligibility race, taking on Air Force at Falcon Stadium this afternoon. They're 4.5-point favorites. Kick 12:30, CBS Sports Network. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Will Darkins from the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Do it every morning. Dirt and Spray. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. on Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan. Sports.
Oh, this is
So good.
The Final Frontier. These are the voices of the sinner and the saint.
Did you really think that after absolutely blowing your butt out in game one? Did they blow their butt out? Yes, they blew their collective butts out to try to get that win.
Their weekly mission to provide hot takes, medium takes, mild takes, to boldly go where no show has gone before.
Take me to Flavor Town.
Luke Anderson.
You're welcome. You're welcome, world.
Will Darkins.
I know what you're thinking. What will the butt test tell us that the nose test didn't?
The Sinner and the Saint Tailgate Show on 1080 The Fan, the
Odyssey
map,
It's just turned into a gigantic Mexican.
and 1080thefan.com.
Hour 2! Missed anything from hour 1, shame on you. Try to be better. It was great. It was great. But don't worry, you can listen to the podcast. It's available on Odyssey.com, the Odyssey app, 1080thefan.com, and we've also got it available, delivered to you by Will in a bear suit.
That's right.
So if you like it, he will destroy your car, but he will program the podcast to play next time you get into it.
Destroy is a generous term.
Yeah, it was.
I'll just go in there and fart a lot.
Yeah, that will destroy it. It will definitely destroy it. I wanted to touch on the Blazers just briefly. Did you happen to pay any attention to the week that your local NBA team had?
Yes, I saw that they beat a team that was taking a vacation twice.
Back-to-back nights. Well, no, but it started on Sunday. After you said that there's no reason to watch the game, and you shamed me for taking a moment to see what Shaedon Sharpe was bringing after coming off of injury, seeing if Robert Williams was actually a basketball player and cared about being here. You shamed me. And
Shame.
They followed that up by one of the worst losses that you've ever seen. But the coach that everybody feels like is probably in his lame duck year, man, he called him out on the post game and the next day and was brutal. Called all of anybody that slept well after that loss a loser and absolutely torched them. And they came out, and a team that they just played last week in the Minnesota Timberwolves beat them handily twice. And I watched, I said I would only watch them once a month, but after they beat them handily on Tuesday night, I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday, I tuned in and watched some of the game. And I fully expected them to get, just kicked right in the ass by the Timberwolves, who were playing with, their full complement of players. Just got embarrassed by a bad basketball team that they whooped up on the week before. They started off up 10 in the first quarter, and no DeAndre Ayton, no Anthony Simons. The Blazers looked like a pretty good team. And I'll tell you, Donovan Clingan, that guy is a beast on the defensive end. And Shaedon Sharpe, down the final stretch of that game, was just taking the ball, going ISO, and making big plays. It was kind of fun to watch. You pay attention to any of it, or you just give me that look where, why would you do that?
I mean, it was exciting in the sense that you got to see a little bit of delivery from Clingan.
Yeah.
There was early, I think, if you were truly invested in this team, which at this point I wouldn't be, I would say early panic about Donovan Clingan because he did not look ready the first games. Now, yeah, I get it. He's a rookie. I understand that. But, he was a rookie in the sense of, whoa, what is he doing? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, does he know how to dribble?
No, dribbling's hard. Have you ever tried it?
I have.
Yeah.
I'm not a professional athlete, though.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Yeah, and you see Shaedon Sharpe come out and have a game and live up to the potential that we keep getting sold on with him. And now I'm not ready to call him a Nasir Little lookalike.
Where is Nasir Little?
That's a great question.
I'll pull up Nasir Little.
I feel bad for Nas. He was injury stricken. Yeah. He did have potential, though. He wouldn't be really amazing. He had the potential to be pretty good, and he just that happens to dudes.
The picture that I'm seeing of Nasir Little is wearing a Force jersey.
Oh, nice. Hey, he's still around.
It says he's still currently a Portland Trailblazer.
Oh, really?
That's what it says.
Is he on our G League team?
Yeah, is that the Force? Our G.
Interesting.
I thought the remix was. I don't know how the G League works.
I don't either.
Okay.
I don't think I need to know.
All right.
Yeah. So look, this is early season. It's an exciting 2 wins.
It's Basketball Reference has him as Wikipedia has him on the Blazers.
Okay.
They have him on Phoenix.
Oh, Phoenix. Okay, cool. Oh, good for him. He's been played. I think it's early season wins. Doesn't really mean too much. I guess you could be a little bit panicked if you are wanting to follow the process here and get Cooper Flag.
Too many wins already.
Yeah,
they're up to 5. That's too many.
Really though, man. I mean, that's the conflicting sense I think among fans, and I know that among people on this station too, is the fact that look, idiots, you're trying to tank here.
Yeah.
Like, this is a lost season, or at least it should be.
Yeah, if Shade's playing well, get him out of there.
Yeah, get him out of there. Knock it off. Yeah, and it's early season basketball. I can't make a lot of it. It's exciting in the sense that it's like, oh, cool, our team is playing well against what you would consider championship contending team in the West.
Okay.
But at the same time, it doesn't really change the structure of what this team is and what's wrong with it.
I guess what I was looking for.
I would also like to see more of this before I make any statements.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
We do this
That's
a lot too. I'd like to mention this because we did this the last year at Dame too, where I think they started something like 10-2, like something crazy. And you start getting really excited and I go, hang on just a minute. Just wait.
Yeah.
Because this is very early and the teams they're playing were very, very bad. Now, in this sense, the teams were very, very good that they beat.
I guess the other thing that I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on was you have Chauncey Billups as pissed as I've ever seen him as a coach of a team that has not tried.
So angry.
But they have not tried in his tenure, it feels like, right? I mean, you could say that it's kind of been a lost 4 years for the Portland Trail Blazers roster. Dame was hurt, then Dame was gone, then everybody was hurt, and they've been in tank mode. And if this is a process, it's hard to watch. The Chauncey Billups reaction and then the team's reaction to his reaction, I guess, is what stands out. If they end up having this middling season, but you're seeing potential in some of the young guys, will you give any room in your future forecast that Chauncey stays on as a head coach?
No, you would have to make the playoffs. Yeah.
That's fine. But
yeah.
Okay.
You're saying a middling season. I would think a middling season means maybe you get to the play-in. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I mean, the middle of the NBA standings makes the playoffs or at least the play-in game. So, yeah, like because I know middling because that's what the Blazers have done for a very long time.
Yeah.
Now they're at the bottom. If they keep winning, it's a bad time. They may revert back to what they were, but I don't know. I just saw the promise of some of these young guys with Kamara and Shade and all of those guys, and it was kind of fun because after the conversation we had last week, and you text me in the middle of that Sunday game, I'm like, oh, that looks really bad. Looked really bad against Memphis, which is fine. But then for the game that I watched last week, being Minnesota, and then coming out and beating them handily, and then beating them in a close game was interesting to watch. So I guess I will give it that. There are two other things that I will point out that you and I talked about, I think, off air last week. One, the Blazers are, I think, tied for the youngest team in the league. And they are the tallest team in the league. So when you talk about how Joe Cronin has made this team differently, you have long athletic players over there, and you do not have a glut of 6'2" listed as 6'4" guards. So I do like the way the team looks physically, and it was kind of fun to go out and see them win a couple games this week after absolutely looking dreadful to start the week.
Yeah, and I understand that. And, again, in a season like this, you're kind of looking for the
flashes.
You're just looking for anything. Yeah. Anything to get you excited, honestly, because
Shaden playing at full speed and throwing down monster putback dunks it's fun to watch.
It is fun to watch. And, look, if everybody lives up to their potential and plays to their potential, meaning that, Klingon turns into a defensive monster who...
Yeah, a defensive player of the year contender.
Yeah, who, stays consistent, being able to score in the paint and getting good putback stuff. Anthony Simons starts to play at all-star level, which he does have the potential to. Shaden breaks out. This is, let's say this is his breakout season. And you get some interesting pieces. Say you start winning, and at the trade deadline instead of sellers, you're buyers, and
Yep.
you get some interesting pieces, and you make the playoffs. That would reach the level of what I would say is that's good for me.
The other
The
thing.
problem is I don't see that because
That's
this
fine.
is 2 games, and this is a coach who has so many times over shown ineptitude. He
You're-
doesn't seem to know how to coach basketball.
Your
He
pet-
seems to know how to motivate, which is a great example in this sense, right? In these 2 games, but he does not seem to know how to put players in the best position to succeed based on their talents. That's my opinion.
That's fine. That's fine.
Watching those games, I look at it and I go, I don't think they have direction.
You are a
here.
natural pessimist. The other thing that I would say to your comment is if they have Klingon prove his value, I mean, in the starting lineup twice this week, both really good games for a guy that is a rookie, and if you're saying that he looked as lost as he did at the beginning of the year, he figured it out real quick. Shaden Sharp has a breakout year. You have Kumara or Scoot or any of these guys show that they're a starting caliber player in the NBA. I think that puts you in a position where you can actually be a seller as well as and keep your momentum going. Because if Klingon is what he is, do you need DeAndre Ayton? If Shaden and Tumani Kamara and those guys go, Jeremy Grant's still available.
Well, yeah, you're right on this.
So you can,
yeah.
and then Maurice Thibault, Thibault gets healthy, and you can ship him. There are pieces here that I don't think it changes the trajectory of the roster because I still don't think you need 30-year-old veterans on there.
No, and you're correct. And
So it's
you're going to be a seller no matter what,
Yes,
because of the
that's what I
fact
would
that you have too many centers and that you have a lot of kind of middling talent that bunched together could give you good stuff. Now, what is the good stuff, I think, is the question. If you are a team, again, that continues on this trajectory and you start to improve and you start to look like either a playoff team or a play-in team, then there's a chance that package of players turns into, let's go get ourselves a 6th man.
Yep.
Let's go get ourselves a veteran who's very good at scoring. Let's go get ourselves a veteran who's very good at defense and try to make a run here. Let's just see what happens. The other sense is that you keep kind of going in this yo-yo fashion, but you're losing more than you're winning, and you start to hit that bottom 2 of the Western Conference. Then you start to package players together and go, where are the picks?
Yep.
Where are the picks and where are the contracts we can take on to clear some cap room here?
Yep.
And get ready for Cooper Flagg. And then once we do get Cooper Flagg, the delusional thought, then we can take an expanded payroll and put some pieces around him. That's the plan, right? Yeah. It's get Flagg, clear the payroll, and get pieces around him.
I genuinely think the plan is going, how good are the guys we have? I really think that's what it is. I mean, you have guys, again, Advia's 23 years old. Delano Banton has been really good this year. Is Scoot good enough to play? Because if they're going with the idea of going, let's figure it out as quick as we can and fail fast. If Scoot's not the guy, move on. If you're looking at Shaden Sharp and going, oh, he can't stay healthy. Because if he can't stay healthy this year, then let him go. But
really?
Well, I mean, don't let him go, but you don't try to build around him. Then that's when you go in full tank mode. Because if he gets hurt, and none of these guys are showing what they can be. But Chris Murray had a nice game the other night. And putting these guys in going, all right, I've got all of these young players. Let's get them in there and have us play as much as they possibly can. Like Ryan Rupert gets out there, and I just go, what are we going to get from this dude? And sometimes it looks good, and sometimes it looks real bad. But I think that's how you tank is going, all right, who's on this roster is worth keeping around?
Yeah.
And Matisse Thybulle, Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton, we kind of know what those guys are. And I think you can be selling on those guys either way. Because they're not.
I don't think you can sell on Grant.
Yeah,
I don't know who's going to pick up that contract.
Well,
Just my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or maybe someone. I don't know. He's kind of that weird, like in between of like.
You know what?
If Grant was cheaper, he would be incredible trade bait because
low
you
ceiling,
could
high
just,
floor.
You could call any contender and be like, "You missing a 4 who can put up 20 a night?" Possibly.
Hey, again, injuries always happen, and you have a team that's contending that wants to add that one more piece. If you could put Jeremy Grant as your 6th man on a team that needs bench help, let's go.
Let's trade him for Klay Thompson.
Let's do it. It's a very good
For the
idea.
hell of it. Why not?
Clay Thompson is definitely on the career trajectory that the Blazers are looking for.
Ah,
There's no
screw
question
it.
about that.
Why not?
You, Will Darkins, and you, the audience, love the NFL slate, so we should probably talk about it. We'll do it next. Sinner and Saint, 1080 The Fan.
November is a great time to get a new TV. Now that the top-rated brands like Samsung, LG, and Sony are at the lowest prices of the year. With Black Friday deals available, what more could you want? How about better than Black Friday? Before you click, you should call Video Only to see how you can go lower than Black Friday. That's right, the best TVs at better prices. Check out Video Only before you buy, or you'll be sorry.
If you've been arrested for a DUI, call the Reynolds Defense Firm. This is McDaniel Reynolds with the Reynolds Defense Firm, and we specialize in just one thing. We represent good people facing DUI charges. If you've been arrested, the first thing you need is to find the right law firm to help you. The kind of law firm you can place your faith and trust into. A law firm that you can believe in, and one that will believe in you too. The Reynolds Defense Firm is exactly that kind of law firm for the clients we work with. We do fantastic legal work, and our team is second to none. While every case is unique and outcomes differ, what I can say is that our successes in the courtroom often border on amazing. And this isn't just a happy coincidence. Our attorneys have more than 35 years of experience in Oregon's DUI laws, and we understand the criminal justice system inside and out. When I say we do just one thing, I mean it, and this is why we are so effective. The Reynolds Defense Firm isn't right for everyone, but we are exactly the right firm to help good people who face DUI charges. Please keep our number in your telephone, and if someone you believe in has been arrested for a DUI, please call us right away. The Reynolds Defense Firm. We're solid, we're here if you need us, and we are very good at what we do.
This holiday at T-Mobile, I'm joined by a special co-anchor.
What up, everybody? It's your boy, Big Snoop D-O-double-G.
Snoop, let's talk about T-Mobile.
Okay, cool.
This holiday, get 4 lines for $25 a line, plus 4 iPhone 16s with Apple Intelligence and the all-new camera control on us.
Let's get cracking, like a breakfast egg.
You can use those eggs to make some eggnog, Snoop.
Respect.
And people do love T-Mobile, where you can save on every plan versus the other big guys.
You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
Always a great stocking stuffer, Snoop.
We up out of here.
Hold your horses, Snoop D-O-double-G. Let's remind people one more time.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get 4 iPhone 16s with Apple Intelligence on us, plus 4 lines for $25. Now drop that jank.
With 24 monthly bill credits, 4 eligible trade-ins, and 4 new lines with autopay. Well-qualified customers plus taxes and fees and $35 per line connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits and credit stop and balance on required finance agreements due. $829.99 credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save on wireless and streaming versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence available now.
With Progressive, you get more than savings. You get access to us through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
Oh, I see what you're doing here, Jamie. Giving me all these ways to stay in touch so I have no excuse not to. Well, you're in luck, because this guy's in the market for a new BFF.
Actually, all our customers can contact us this way.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just kidding.
But I am always up for Taco Pizza! Jigsaw!
Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Welcome to Staples.
Help! My family's in for the holidays and I need gift ideas.
That's why we're here. Staples has amazing deals on everything you need. Photo gifts, laptops, and gaming systems. Even custom holiday cards and shipping solutions to send gifts to the family that can't make it.
Perfect! Have anything for Uncle Frank? I love him, but the guy is never quiet.
Noise-canceling headphones. For you.
You get it.
Unwrap huge holiday savings at Staples. And right now at Staples, save up to $350 on select computers. Ends 11/16, in-store only.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. When sending a package, why venture outside? Ship with USPS for a true holiday ride. Want to stay cozy and warm? There's no need to roam. With free package pickup and labels printed from home. We have over 600,000 employees always in motion. And before you know it, your gift has delivered emotion. Spread the holiday joy this season with USPS's Enhanced Network. Learn more at USPS.com/holidayride.
The Sinner and the Saint Tailgate with Luke Anderson and Will Darkins on 1080 The Fan.
All right, NFL has a big weekend. We are at the halfway-ish point of the season. Everybody's kind of getting their bye weeks and figuring out kind of where they sit. First bye week for Mike Macdonald as a head coach, and I guess he's having the best year of a Mike head coach in the NFL. Mike McCarthy's pretty much dead man walking. Mike McDaniel's been playing without his quarterback all year. So Mike Macdonald, at least he's winning one thing, but the Seahawks are in last place in the division that has the slimmest margin between last and first.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys are still in it.
Oh, 100% in it. But I guess my point is today's game against the 49ers, or tomorrow's game against the 49ers, is huge. I think it feels like very much like a must-win. They have the Niners this week, the Cardinals next week. Then I think they play the Jets and the Cardinals again. So the next stretch of games, I don't know how often you look at this, but at least for NFL coaches, I think the way that they perform after a bye week is monumental in how you evaluate them as a coach.
Yes, the famous Andy Reid stat.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man, it is. It's
true.
But you've got your team figured out. The move that the Seahawks have made during the bye week is getting rid of Tyrell Dodson, their leading tackler, in favor of Tyrell Knight, who is a 4th-round rookie. So it makes me feel that their inconsistencies on defense are definitely front burner, and whether or not that's going to make a difference. So I think that marks one of the biggest games of the year, or week. Sorry. Biggest games of the week is definitely going to be Seahawks 49ers. What's your thought in that game? Because Christian McCaffrey came back last week and looked pretty good, but it took just about everything they had to beat the Buccaneers. So how do you feel about the Niners? Are they still a Super Bowl team? How do you feel about the Seahawks and what you've seen so far?
Well, I mean, with any team in this division, it's always just kind of a toss-up week to week, in my opinion. Arizona for 2 weeks looked like the best team in the division and also a kind of dark horse in the NFC through the playoffs just because of how unpredictable they are, how well Kyler Murray's playing, how impressive Marvin Harrison Jr. is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the 49ers, it's kind of the same old story every year. Get hurt early, finish strong late. And with the Seahawks, you know, I told you this at the beginning of the season, is if I were you, and I think you have taken this attitude pretty well, which is, yeah, it's a blank slate, man. You just lost your generational coach. You've lost most of your very good players. You know, you have young dudes coming in. You're in a weird transition period with a quarterback who we all see the writing on the wall. It can't keep going like this. He is not your guy. He's good. But you don't have enough around him to be a good team and maintain him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys don't have enough great players around Geno Smith to make Geno Smith a legit great NFL quarterback. The 49ers do with Brock Purdy. I don't care what anybody says. Brock Purdy's good. That's about it.
Okay.
He's good. He has incredible weapons and a great defense when healthy.
Watching the last 2 weeks, I think realizing how much DK Metcalf impacts the offense.
Yeah.
That having him out of the lineup and just realizing how he can space it for the other guys, for Jackson Smith and Jigba and Tyler Lockett and the tight ends, I think that makes a big difference. And then just getting some consistency from the running game. One of the big things about the week of rest is that you're getting DK Metcalf back, but the other one is getting Abe Lucas, who you've not seen all year, should have been your starting right tackle. They have been real bad on the offensive line. I mean, I think that's been their biggest challenge, is trying to get a consistent running game. Because you have Zach Charbonnet, who is a beast, and you have Kenneth Walker III, K9, back there, who is an absolute monster. But they don't have any room to run. This offensive line has been bad. You got Connor Williams this year, who's coming off a bad injury, and is kind of figuring out the center position. But the right side of the line has been terrible. You've got a rotation at right guard. You've been playing with the third string right tackle the entire season. Charles Cross has been very good at left tackle, but they just need to get some consistency in there. And then just the defense has been wildly inconsistent stopping the run. And I think that's a reason you get rid of Dotson and just go, all right, well, even though this is our leading tackler, the problem is he's tackling people when they get to him, not when he gets to them.
What's up with your center?
I don't exactly know what's going on.
Why did he quit?
I couldn't tell you. So that
he said personal reasons.
Yep.
Which I'm kind of like.
Well, and he came
I don't fault anyone for quitting or retiring now because of concussions. I think if you have a legitimate reason and you're scared, like, yeah, dude, quit.
Yeah, but he was coming off
Not
leg
worth it.
injuries, so I can't.
Yeah, that's what kind of confused me. I was like, huh.
Yep.
And he's 27, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's
kind of prime age.
It's not great, because this is the guy that you brought in to fix things.
Right.
So, because you didn't have a center. So
Maybe
yeah,
he just hates Mike McDonald. And they got into a big old tiff.
That could be it. But yeah, I have not read anything that gives me any inclination into what exactly is going on. So I will leave that to him. But yeah.
Well, there you go.
It's very strange.
You and your Seahawks, just waiting for your quarterback.
I'm fine with the quarterback. Listen,
dude, you're fine with middling, is what you're fine with.
Yeah, but he's not the biggest problem that you have on the team.
No,
If
but
your
it
options
makes
are-
the
if
team
your
not that
options-
exciting.
Yeah, but okay,
It's not a very exciting team. You got to admit that.
I would say that they certainly can be. DK and your wide receiver core are very good. You have a home run hitting back. You have the elements of it. The problem is your defense for the last few years, and this is the reason Pete Carroll's gone, has been awful. And trying to figure out who the pieces are to figure it out. But the other thing is when they won their Super Bowl with Russell Wilson, they had the highest paid offensive line in football. And they slowly, over the Pete Carroll tenure, slowly became the lowest paid offensive line and terrible.
Yeah.
So I think that that's a pretty easy indication. So yes, if the choice were, like, let's say the Seahawks were to get the first overall pick this year, I don't care who the quarterback is. And I said the Bears should have done this, is sell the pick to somebody that really wants it and go get the best offensive line that you can. That was my opinion.
Yeah.
And I know that I know that Caleb Williams is an all-time, and we've seen that CJ Stroud and Jaden Daniels in very early quarterback picks have changed the fortunes of their team. But if you ever gave me the GM title and the first pick, I would drop down and I would improve my offensive and defensive lines first, always in the draft.
So there's a reason I don't think you can do that anymore, really, in the NFL, is the fact that unless you're in certain conference or divisions, rather, if you're in certain divisions, I think that you can do that to some effect. If say you are an NFC South team, I think you can do that, and you can do okay. A la the Bucks.
You know who's doing that right now? The Bucks, yes, but the Eagles. That's the Eagles. I don't think Jalen Hurts is a super dynamic quarterback. He's good in the system that they have. He has weapons that he can throw. They have a great offensive line, and that's what they're built on. And Jalen Hurts, what round was he picked in? Was he wasn't a first round pick?
I think he was a second.
Yeah. So take a second round quarterback and get a first round offensive line and let the guy get better. I'd rather do that.
Yeah, I suppose there's that one example. I think that the reason you got to get a quarterback, especially if you're the Bears, because you use the Bears as an example, is that you're up against pretty long odds in your division.
Yeah.
Meaning that who are the other quarterbacks in your division? Jared Goff, dude who's throwing friggin' perfect bullets.
If you're talking about the AFC or the NFC West.
What? No, the Bears.
In the Bears division.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry.
NFC,
I was looking at Jalen Hurts' draft position.
You got Jordan Love, who's up and coming
53rd pick for
and
Jalen
good.
Hurts. Yep.
You have a Vikings team that everybody tells me J.J. McCarthy is supposed to be incredible, but Sam Darnold's playing pretty well. Yep. You can't roll out a bad quarterback here if you're in a division like that, because at the end of the day, a lot of those close games come down to quarterback duels.
Sure.
And we've seen it, quite honestly, with Sam Darnold when it comes down to end of games or pressure situations, which is he ain't good in those.
Yeah.
He's good if he's building a lead or he's got a nice 7 or 10 point lead. He can kind of keep momentum going. But we have seen now that you want dudes like Jared Goff, who was a first overall pick, though he was traded. He was a first overall pick. You want dudes like Patrick Mahomes, who was a first-round pick, who, when it comes to winning time, he knows what time it is.
Yeah, but they also took him at a position where they were not going to start him right away. They had a team around him that had been a consistent playoff team.
You mean Mahomes, right?
Mahomes, yeah. And they were a consistent playoff team with Alex Smith, and let him sit for a year and go, all right,
it's true.
We're ready to put you in. I don't think going up and mortgaging your future, going, we're going to take this guy hell or high water because he's so talented, and we're going to put him on a crappy team and hope that he can Peyton Manning it. Because there's not a lot of stories of what Peyton Manning did, which was had a terrible rookie year, was the best player on the team for 5 or 6 years, and finally the team got good enough and they won a Super Bowl. They also only won one Super Bowl with Peyton Manning in Indy. as good as he was, for as long as he was, they won one. I know they ran into Tom Brady and whatever, but Tom Brady didn't win it every year.
And they were an incredible regular season team.
They were.
You got to give them that.
They absolutely were, but that's a guy
They
that
owned
drug
that division for a
drug
decade.
his team to greatness.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of stories of that. Ben Roethlisberger was great for a very long time,
Hmm.
but he went to a team that was ready to win, and he wasn't supposed to start right away.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Russell Wilson was one of those guys. He gets drafted in the 3rd round and goes to the Seahawks. That team was looking at Matt Flynn being their quarterback.
I still
and paid
say
a lot of money.
they messed up there.
Yeah.
Keep Matt
But they
Flynn.
brought him in. But the team was ready to win. They just needed a guy competent enough to do it. And you get better as the team gets a little worse. So.
Is there another Matt Flynn in the NFL?
How do you mean?
Well, the fact that Matt Flynn, off of one game, got a massive contract.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? The one game. He went in and did garbage time and threw something like 400 yards.
Set a Packers record.
Yeah. And then one game, it was like, sign him. Big deal. I can't think of anyone else that got that. And then it's not just that. It's the fact that you got replaced.
Yeah, I don't know.
Before you even played.
Joe Flacco's pretty funny this year that Indy's like, well, let's put in the veteran that did so well in Cleveland last year. And they put him in and they're like, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. What were we thinking? So, yeah.
I think they were trying to show Anthony Richardson what not to do.
Yeah. There's definitely stories of guys getting second chances that did anyway. Yeah, but what are you gonna do? All right, let's talk about the rest of the NFL slate. We're a little bit behind, but we'll try to squeeze in as much as we can after this SportsCenter update.
All right, halftime in a lot of these games. Ohio State up 21-7 on Northwestern.
Very exciting. The Murray State Racers playing against Kentucky. That game just underway. It is 0-0.
Murray State, huh?
Yeah, Murray State playing against Kentucky. Well, this is the time of the year when the SEC takes a week off.
Takes a vacation.
Yeah, love it.
A bye week of sorts. Texas, number 3 Texas up 10-0 on Arkansas halftime.
The Coastal Carolina Chanticleers with a 7-3 lead over the Marshall Thundering Herd. That is a great mascot matchup.
Colorado just scored again before halftime. They're up 20-6 on Utah, pending 21-6. It's about 50 seconds left, first half.
UL Monroe, what are they? The Warhawks.
It's a good name.
Trailing 17-0 to the Auburn Tigers. 7:44 left in the second.
Your last two here, Clemson up 14-7 on Pittsburgh and Tulane up 14-0 on Navy.
Your last two here, the Liberty Flames down 27 to the Massachusetts Minutemen, and the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs up 9-7 on the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers.
More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Will Darkins from the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player. Tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Did you know each year auto insurers routinely underpay accident claims? Estimates run from 5 to 10 billion every year. I'm Leif with Leif's Auto Collision Centers. How do they do it? Insurers count on you not knowing the law. If you are in an accident, contact Leif's before you file a claim. We'll send you a guide that lays out everything you are owed. No obligation. You pay dearly for insurance. You deserve all that's promised. Leif's, complimentary pickup and delivery, factory parts, pre-loss repairs. Leif's, I'm on your side.
Kick off the holiday season with family and friends at the Les Schwab Tires Turkey Trot 5K Run Walk. On Wednesday night, November 27th, you can run or walk under the lights at the Winter Wonderland at PIR and gobble up great giveaways after the event. Start your holiday season at the 2024 Les Schwab Tires Turkey Trot 5K Run Walk November 27th. Register now at hoodtocoast.com. That's hoodtocoast.com.
You okay?
Sorry, I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Lowe's knows you want to get even more value for the holiday. That's why as a My Lowe's Rewards member, you get new member deals on holiday decor, tools, and more. And you earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards to help you save on holiday and more. Not a member? Join for free today at Lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards because Lowe's knows deals. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See Lowes.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
I'm Leif, owner of Leif's Auto Collision Centers. A recent survey found 90% of auto collision repairs performed at insurance-recommended discount body shops were substandard. Why? Insurance companies require these preferred discount shops fix cars on the cheap with imitation parts and cutting corners. You have a choice: the insurance-preferred body shop or Leif's. Pre-loss condition, factory parts, pickup and delivery across the Northwest, loaners, deduct assist. Leif's, we're number one for a reason.
Headed out on the town or maybe just running some errands, but worried you haven't charged enough to make it everywhere? Whew. Don't stress. Shell has a growing network of reliable EV charging sites at popular retail locations and Shell gas stations. So you can pull up, plug in, and venture out. Now that's convenient. Shell Recharge. Download the Shell app today to find the nearest Shell Recharge location. For more information on locations and how Shell measures reliability, visit shell.us/Shell Recharge.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free Crunchwrap Supremes from Taco Bell, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, wings, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Order Taco Bell for game day now through November 17, 2024. Second item of equal or lesser value. Terms apply. See app for details.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? 'Cause I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
The Sinner and the Saint Tailgate with Luke Anderson and Will Darkins on 1080 The Fan.
I don't think I'm going too far out on a limb here saying that we could have the final four teams in the AFC all playing against at least one of the other teams this weekend. You've got Ravens, Steelers, and Chiefs, Bills both this weekend. Which is the better game? And do you have the Chiefs staying undefeated this weekend, Will?
Oh, regular season statistics would tell you no, as the Bills seem to kind of have an edge on the Chiefs in the regular season, not the postseason. Also, it would go on to say you probably want to lose a game at this point if you're the Chiefs.
All right.
You're not really beating the doors off teams.
No, they're definitely not.
You are skating by every second, though it should be noted your defense is incredible.
Yep.
Your offense is question mark. Patrick Mahomes is playing probably the worst of his career.
Until the final minute of the game when they need to make a throw.
But overall, I mean,
Yeah.
statistically, it is really the worst he's played in his career. And even just kind of looks-wise, you see it, and you're like, yeah, something's a little off there, whether it's the fact that Kelsey has degraded to the point that this should be his last season and, your favorite weapon's gone. And, also, you don't really have any receivers, so I can understand that. But, I mean, again, if you're the Chiefs, you kind of hope maybe you'll lose a game like this so you can get it over with, so you can get that whole monkey off your back, which, if you go into the playoffs undefeated, then the pressure is enormous.
I think the pressure's already enormous going for a three-peat, but they are so
you stack on that.
There are 8 teams ahead of them in point differential, and they're the only undefeated team. That is pretty remarkable. But also, you have faith in the Bills to be that team that goes out there and can beat them. If they can beat them tomorrow, do you think the Bills are getting in a position where they'll be able to beat them in the playoffs, or is that just a whole different animal?
That I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like, man, what was that divisional round game? Is that 17?
No, 18 or 19.
Is it?
Yeah.
It seems like that kind of ruined them in a way. They never really lived up to big moments after that. They didn't.
I don't know. They had some shootouts with the Bengals in there, and no, I think
man, they didn't. Look at the stats. I mean, in the regular season, maybe they were okay, but they always fell flat in big moments after that.
Well, I mean, they haven't made.
They never made it back to the AFC
Super
title.
Bowl, so yeah,
they never made it back there. They had disappointing playoff appearances. We had a coach who tried to inspire them to live out the experiences of 9/11 terrorists last year.
Yeah, but
that's a real thing.
Last year, their division round game against the Chiefs, 27-24.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty
they
close.
Lost.
Yes, but still a close game. Like
right,
you can't
and they
say
didn't live up to big moments. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
after that division game,
yes, but nobody beats the Chiefs in the playoffs. Like other than Tom Brady, who has beaten the Chiefs.
Then I'm sorry. I guess you won't win Super Bowls, Josh Allen. See, this is the argument that people like to put across with Mahomes and Allen, which is legitimate.
The 42-36 game that you're talking about was 2022.
Okay, 2022,
and that was also a divisional round game, I believe.
So, this is the argument that I think a lot of people like to put out with Mahomes and Allen, and I'm not really ready to put it out yet. I'm not ready to say this is a good comparison. Is what we kind of talked about earlier in the show, Manning, Brady, because Brady kind of was the stopgap of Manning achieving Super Bowl success on a larger scale for most of the 2000s. They did win, I think, the 07 Super Bowl.
Yeah,
but I don't think, and I don't feel it yet, that Josh Allen is really that good. I think he's really, really talented, but I'm sorry, dude. That guy's a walking interception. He just does it. It's gonna happen. I can't. I mean, really, in pressure situations anymore, don't you have in the back of your head with the Bills where you go, I could see Josh Allen throwing a pick here.
I don't know.
Pretty
I
easy.
mean, I don't really see him losing the. Okay, so here's his playoff history.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2019, it was the Texans where Deshaun Watson somehow spins
I
out
remember that.
of that tackle.
Yeah.
The Texans win in overtime.
Mhm.
Then they lose in the AFC Championship game to the Chiefs, and
Yep.
that one was a little bit more of a.
That
in,
was
in 20, in 2020.
That was the peak. Yep.
But no, but that game they beat him up. That was 38-24. The next year was that overtime game. That was a divisional round loss to the Chiefs.
Mhm.
They lose to the Bengals in 2022, who the Bengals were absolutely on a roll.
Mhm.
And then, I mean, even coming off the year before where they went to the Super Bowl, and then you have the divisional round loss to the Chiefs last year. So they're running into the Chiefs, Bengals, and the loss to the Texans was one of the more marvelous plays that you've seen from a guy that, got inappropriate massages.
I'm
and
sorry,
ended up being
man.
one of the bigger scumbags.
If you want to be great and you want to win Super Bowls, do that. What do you want me to say?
Just do it. No,
is the guy winning MVPs?
No.
Has Josh Allen won an MVP yet? No,
but
has
that-
Lamar Jackson? Has he
Yes.
gotten closer more
Okay,
times?
do you want to look at Lamar Jackson's
I
playoffs?
know. Believe you me,
Yeah.
I get it. I'm just saying this. People marvel at Josh Allen, but there's a clear marker of that division game where you go, things just haven't seemed to be going as well after that.
Who is it? Name a quarterback that is in the league with Patrick Mahomes.
What?
Who's?
Oh, you mean that's good.
Who's in his
Oh, yeah.
tier? If
I would say at times, flashes wise, Joe Burrow.
Sure. He's also been missed the majority of two
He has.
seasons
You're
because of
right.
injuries.
Yeah.
So we got Joe Burrow, who is sitting with 4 wins right now.
And again, I think Lamar Jackson, except for like Josh Allen,
Yeah.
those moments. But
So-
that's what I'm saying, man. Look, I have the same opinion about all these dudes compared to Patrick Mahomes. It's the same thing that what we had with Brady, right?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't.
You did. You had incredible quarterbacks at that time that got.
I don't think early on it was Brady's team. Yes, late it was, but it was Patrick Mahomes' team from jump. He's been the reason and the catalyst for the Super Bowls. Now their defense is better, and Patrick Mahomes' weapons are worse, but Patrick Mahomes is still a very key element of them winning.
Oh, yeah.
And if they win 3 in a row, dude, I mean, that's,
quite honestly, it's the defense.
I said he's a key element. I didn't say he's the element.
Yeah.
And if they win 3 in a
It's the
row,
defense.
dude, come on, that'd be remarkable.
He really,
There's a lot of good defenses in the NFL. If I'll tell you,
I
every
know,
one of
but
them would take Patrick Mahomes.
it's so suspect, dude. How does he turn it on at like 3 minutes in the fourth? That's pretty much it. He really does not look good. He looks like a very average quarterback. And it's not the sense of him like playing bad. It's the sense that like he has no weapons. And it seems like a lot of the stuff.
Dude,
now,
what?
I'll give Andy Reid a massive amount of credit because I think it just every Chiefs game I watch, the first half looks like dog crap.
Dude, the whole
and then
game-
they make adjustments and it just gets better.
The whole game last week.
Oh, gosh.
And then they block a field goal to win. I mean,
I know. I kind of hope they get blown out in the playoffs. Just it all builds up to them being undefeated, and then like
my dad hates the Chiefs. Absolutely hates.
Why?
Just because he does. I don't need to give you all the. He hates Patrick Mahomes. He hates Andy Reid.
Wow.
He hates the color of their uniforms. He hates Arrowhead Stadium. He hates Kansas City barbecue. He hates the Midwest.
Not gonna understand
He hates the Chiefs.
I think there was more to hate with Brady and the Pats.
Listen, I'm not
because of
I'm
the
not telling you that I hate
stereotypical
him,
Boston guy.
But watching a Chiefs game with my father is very entertaining because every single thing that they do is just
you so and so.
All right, what are we watching for in college football? We'll tell you next. It's what to watch. This is the Sinner and the Saint on 1080 The Fan.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Aloha, it's Marcus from the 808. Brah, football is here and nothing goes better with the pigskin than some Ono foods from 808 Hawaiian Restaurant. If you're watching the pros or the kids that get paid like pros, you should do it with a plate of Kaloa pig, Kalbi ribs, and mac salad, like my grandma used to make. 808 has 3 locations, Burnside, Woodstock, and Beaverton. Check out their menus for dine-in, takeout, or catering online at ate-oh-ate.com. I'm Marcus. Ahui ho. Mahalo.
After you use Bounce Dryer sheets and realize how fresh, soft, less wrinkled, and less staticky your laundry can be, you'll put a sheet on it every time. Like those socks that smell like they've been through a marathon. Or that blanket that's got wrinkles on its wrinkles. Maybe even your chatty coworker who keeps distracting you. Okay, Bounce Dryer sheets can't do it all. But for fresher, softer, better laundry...
Oh no, my phone.
Hear that? It's the sound of a skater dropping her phone and smashing it on the ice. Yep, it's definitely broken. But at Verizon, we got you. Black Friday starts now. Trade in any phone, any condition from one of our top brands and get a new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus on Unlimited Ultimate and Watch 7 and Tab S9 FE 5G. That's up to $1,900 in value. So you'll save big on 3 great gifts. Hurry into Verizon this Black Friday. Service plan required for Watch and Tab. Up to $1,900 value based on phone, watch, and tablet. Trade in and additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
The Sinner and the Saint Tailgate with Luke Anderson and Will Darkins on 1080 The Fan.
Will Darkins, any way that the Wisconsin Badgers upset the #1 Oregon Ducks this weekend?
Oh, I don't think so. I think Oregon's now on a path and on a I would say a shot of adrenaline confidence that can't really be broken, at least at this point, by the opponents that they have left. Any notion that they might get stumbled by Wisconsin, I think, is probably not very accurate. And then the other one that I think a lot of people are trying to build up, which won't be anything, is against Washington, who don't look good.
Why Washington beat UCLA, who's on a little bit of a heater.
They're not the same team, and I think
they're
Oregon,
definitely not the same team.
I think Oregon at this point is they're at their apex of the season. They have the most confidence. They've faced every single challenge, every single test. They've gone through every kind of maturation a great team.
They've
goes
had
through in
injuries.
the season.
They've had
had injuries. The early bad games they got over, going into difficult environments, winning games. Winning your marquee game of the season, having your Heisman candidate kind of live up to his name and play well, having your coach come into full form. It's all kind of aligning.
Here's a question for you. What does Dylan Gabriel have to do to win the Heisman Trophy?
Win the Big Ten.
Just that's it?
Yeah, I think if you win the Big Ten, you stay undefeated. I don't see a reason why he wouldn't win it. I think the whole Travis Hunter thing's stupid. I do.
I think that's hilarious.
Dude, it's two picks. So what? You have 2 picks. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, you play both ways and you have 2 picks.
Yeah.
That's not that incredible to me. It's
Playing
really not.
Playing both ways is remarkable. Being
Great.
the best player in college football is something different. So
I just, to me, it's kind of like,
yeah.
okay, you play both ways.
He has cooled off a little. I mean, he's still a monster, but he's cooled off. A little
Great.
from the
That's
hype.
awesome.
Yeah,
but you really don't make. I would argue that Deion's son makes more of a difference.
Yeah.
Overall. I think Travis Hunter's an incredible athlete who will be a very good NFL player.
So
I don't think he's a
Dylan
Heisman
Gabriel,
candidate.
stay healthy and win the Big Ten, and here's a trophy.
Yeah, undefeated, win the Big Ten. Yes, he should probably get it. I would think. Yeah.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what to watch for. Real quick, you've got 4 seconds. Can Oregon State beat 2-7 Air Force?
I don't know, actually. Dude, the season's kind of going down the tank. I mean, it's already there. We need 2 more wins, and we got Air Force, Washington State, and Boise State left. So you tell me where those 2 wins are.
It better be one today. I'll tell you that. So we'll see what happens there. I will be out for the week of the Huskies game, but next week there are some great college football games. So we'll talk to you again next week. Are you out next week?
No, I'm here.
Oh. All right. I thought you were. Well, never mind. We'll be back next week, Will. Thank you as always. Thank you, everybody, for listening. For now, we are done. Bye-bye.
From Warren Allen, Attorneys at Law, I'm George McCoy, wishing you a happy fall. But leaves raining kids back in school can make driving tricky for all. If you're in an accident, call me and we'll sort it out. To get what you deserve, go to warrenallen.com and give us a shout.
Wow, look at these Black Friday deals on TVs. Samsung, Sony, and LG at the lowest prices of the year, even on their top-rated models. Now we can get that top-rated Samsung we were thinking about, but we'll need to get